feels like this. Because one of the things that I know you always have like been really adamant on people doing if they work with you, work for you. And I've always felt like it was crazy, but I only heard great stories from you and other people as well. Is being hypnotized,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to dive into that. Just I think it's a world that people like would probably be interested in. Like with you, what do you feel like people get from being hypnotized, and what are they being hypnotized for?
Well, number one, you're only going to have great achievement if you subconsciously actually believe it, right? And I think really when I went to the great Dr. George Pratt back in the day, I didn't really even know what I was going for. Um, it was really at that time I just wanted something to help me do better in contests, right? I was like 24 years old, and he basically had written this book called Hyper Success: How to Use Your Subconscious to achieve great things, like something to that effect, and had worked with all these pro athletes and famous people, and when I went in there, he just did this sort of initial testing to basically say, you just don't believe you were meant for great success. Your subconscious does not believe that you were meant for great success. So you can call it what you want. I might have been at the right age, might have been at the right time, but whatever shift that gave me in the mindset of what my true inner belief was of my ability to have great success, it was just the beginning of basically my entire life has never been on. I've never dipped from that moment ever again. And every year, just gotten bigger, stronger, bigger deals, better ideas, bigger opportunities, everything from that point on for the rest of my life.
I think we should bring this on the show, guys.
Man,
Why not?
Definitely,
Right?
yeah.
Let's just get one on the show, man.
look, I'm telling you right now, Drama was floundering like a fucking dead fish on the beach until he got Dr. George Pratted, and you see like he completely shifted. Started young and reckless, like started the entire studio, everything after
Yeah.
all of that.
See,
Like
I've
that.
never done it. Never done it. I think I'm scared of it.
But do you believe in your soul you were meant for great success?
Oh, 100%.
That was a lie. You said it too fast.
No, 100%.
You would have paused and thought
No.
about all the ways you were going to be
No,
successful.
it's not
Just
true.
kidding. I was making that up.
I 100%
Fake
believe it.
assessment.
I
You get him
100% believe it.
hypnotized by the end of the show.
No, I mean, yeah.
Look at my eyes. No, but it is like some shit.
This guy should have put some
It's
It's
a
like,
picture.
like a spiritual almost.
Yeah, he is the. That's some kind of older, really beginning to learn how to control
and dying.
that. But really good design, fake video, fake manufacture at the time of destiny. But I see what it did for me, but know that what I do on a daily basis from a mindset perspective and how I definitely structure and how I really carry through goals and understand every single thing I do and how I feel about it, how I project in the future is actually a reasonable question. Of course.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
So you don't gotta be hypnotized, you just gotta practice it.
But fuck it, why not? Why not do
Yeah,
it?
It's like
practice
doing
it.
steroids. Fuck it, I can get bigger quicker. I might as well get hypnotized to get rich now so I can enjoy it while I'm young.
I agree.
I'll let you pour it because I don't want to.
Chris has this thing.
Man, yo, this dude knocks the bottle over, he's going back.
He's going bankrupt. He's cut.
Like the exact
He's out.
opposite. Like,
He's out the cage.
from the liquidity, look at it. It's like you literally can see your wealth building as you go.
Yeah. I feel it. I feel it 100%. I want you to really think about your success and
Hey,
support.
as you pour it, think about your success.
Yeah, I don't want to pour your success. Because I don't want you blaming me if that shit don't come out.
And we're gonna do a little thing.
He poured more fish. I mean, stingy as fuck.
Wow.
You see how much I poured for me? I was like, oh, let's be.
I'm gonna be successful.
I'm gonna be successful.
I was like, dude, I'm doing fine.
I'm the guy. I'm the guy that got all the money from it. I'm good.
This feels kind of religious. No way.
Yeah.
What's
Cheers,
your
guys.
ass look on camera. What's on your point? No, twist it around. It's good. It's good. Wine. Yeah.
Hey, here's to continued success and achieving all our dreams.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers, guys. Cheers. I should do a cut two in my head. It was like, Steve Oberman is foul bankruptcy. It's like, god damn it, that wine.
I'm just snatching.
Just reminiscing.
And that's we're gonna get some stories from the
Playing
week.
with who's
On
like,
this podcast, we like to go over what happened in the week, and we like to get your perspective on it. You know, it's not as much like another show where we might totally dive into your past, how you raised this, that. We more kind of like talking about the state of the world today. So
Let's talk about the
let's
world.
go over some stuff that happened in the week.
That's what we should probably jump in from last week's thing.
Tekashi.
Tekashi.
Tekashi follow up.
Did you see that he's foregoing
I know this
witness
one.
protection?
Crazy.
He's saying-
He'll be the biggest star in the world in a year.
He'll be dead before a year.
It's,
So I
do
just
you
think
not
that-
agree that he snitched on such a tight circle, and that it's like they're all so crazy, and they all basically turned on him.
No.
That and he's just enough of like a weird cartoon character that's like, it's just a guy that snitched. He's wild.
No, I think it's such a culture, and I think also that an example has to be made. That if he gets away with it,
Yeah.
then what is it for everybody else? It's like you can snitch and it's
Nope.
fine now.
No, the same way that he shouldn't have been throwing around the N-word. Okay.
No,
It's
he
like-
could do that.
No, he couldn't.
What
It
is-
just finally you were
What is
just
he,
like,
Dominican? Is he Dominican?
No.
What is he? He's like,
nah.
what is the guy? He's Dominican,
no,
right?
he didn't have the right. He didn't
Find
have.
out.
There was no way. He just watch Nucky with that vintage liquidity vintage, man.
Nucky is the last person.
Man,
that's
you don't
gonna
want him.
experience success. If I lost my success to Nucky, I'd be like, of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
He fucking lips a little bit of wine. Next thing you know, he's got like 10 million followers on Instagram. But look, I think it's not. It does, and I'm not. It's falling into a super unique form of snitching. It's not traditional in the way like they were all like this thing, and then he turned. It was a mess from the absolute beginning, and he's like this weird character. But it totally makes sense to me that he would still get out and become this weird thing beyond life beyond snitching. You know?
I just don't think that he can hire a 24/7 security. Number one, no security guard's gonna want to sign up for it.
But do you think people will hunt him? I don't think people will hunt him.
1,000%.
I mean, I think that makes them look bad. The fact that he snitched on his whole gang and they're not gonna go after a guy, like that makes them look bad, doesn't it?
It's not.
Like in gang world,
Yes, traditional.
you
Right?
think it's-
Like I'm
no, but
saying,
I
he's
agree
sitting
that
in
it's
this
the best
super
publicity
weird
stunt
world
ever.
where, like, the same way when they basically took on every hood in the country. They're at Chief Keef's house in Chicago. They're
He
like
was there for
in
10
Texas.
seconds at
You can
4
say what
a.m.
you want. He was still going. They were
No,
going so
no.
crazy.
Even he spoke about it. Oh, breakfast they were like, hey, when you were at O Block, why was you out there at 4 a.m. acting like he was like, I ain't fucking stupid. I ain't gonna be out there no 8 p.m. I'm gonna get shot.
Yeah.
And it was just like he was letting y'all know very clearly, I'm not a gangster.
You
I'm
do his
fucking-
fucking stupid perfect.
His fucking stupid.
Yeah.
You fucking stupid.
Oh man, you look.
It's real.
Yo,
It's
fucking identical.
Yeah.
You should go on The Masked Singer. It's Tekashi 6ix9ine. It's Tekashi 6ix9ine.
He can definitely go in there. He should go in there.
Wow.
That's his
Oh,
next
that's
move.
it.
That's his
Oh
next
man,
move.
imagine he fuck up the whole season. Everyone's like, oh, what the fuck?
I would love him to be in the most bizarre, like Dancing with the Stars. and all of a sudden, he's-
wow. Oh, jeez. Oh.
He really believes that he's gonna be a superstar again, and I'm just like confused on who's around him telling him that this is gonna work out this way.
The advantage is we get to see the documentary now that I
On
made up
Snapchat?
last week. No, I mean I said that I hope there's a documentary team following this, and we said, well, if he goes into witness protection, we'll never get to see it.
Well, no,
never
there
get to
already
hear
is a documentary.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Like, so
Oh.
if he went
No,
in,
no, that's not. It's already been released on Snapchat. They already have a documentary about the whole thing.
Oh, I assume that there's going to be
Yeah.
an aftermath documentary.
Oh, probably.
there'll be
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there'll be a reality
30
show.
for 30.
No,
It'll be like
reality
Life
show.
After Sports. Yeah.
Life after snitching. Like he's going to make like snitching like this weird comical cultural
he's
weird
not.
thing. I'm
I
telling
think
you.
from the outside looking in, you think he can. He will be dead in 4 months,
I
3
think
months.
people
at-
can berate him as well, like constantly.
because you're
because of
not.
what
It's
he
not
Yeah,
even
yeah,
just that specific sub tier of the Bloods and saying like Trey 9 Bloods. It's Bloods in general. Now you making fun
But
of something that
Bloods
we.
in general hated his guts for even saying he was a Blood.
So why you think they gonna stop there?
But no, they're not gonna like look at like justify. They look at him as a clown, like a clown showing off about snitch. It's almost like beneath even the culture of revenge. In my mind.
No. As soon as he said a lot of things to a lot of people, and now he's been exposed that he's not even that guy.
I know.
So now his plan is that I'm gonna hire 24/7 security. Number one, you don't have enough money. You start with that. Secondly, you say, okay, I'm gonna come out here and let's say you got a show in LA. How is that gonna be? You call YG all kind of fuck niggas, said that YG you would smack him and he was this and he was that. And at that time you was getting extorted, so you have protection. You have no protection now because you're foregoing witness protection.
But
You're saying I don't even want it.
Think about this though, and this is just theory.
Okay.
Just
I'm
theory.
all for it.
Theory now. Was he not like super funny and kind of hokey through it all too, right?
He's a comedian.
He's hilarious.
He's hilarious.
So all I'm saying is, if you look through to the light, if it's like, damn, he really wasn't even about that. He was just kind of this crazy gangster clown, like, and now he's a comedian. Do you still want to go and kill the comedian, or would you rather kind of see how it plays out?
I'll tell you how it could have worked. If he would have been like Sacha Baron Cohen and was like, hey, I went disguised the whole time as a rapper. And I shot a documentary about this.
what if
I'm
he
not
does?
really, if he releases the documentary, a prequel, and he's like, I was never a gangster. I was never this.
This is the
I
entire
never
bit.
had face tattoo.
Wow.
Maybe just a maybe. But then I'm still
He's
like,
just an
nah.
incredible performance artist. Like,
If it's like Andy Kaufman on
Yeah.
like 1,000 degrees, oh man, that'd be fun.
I
Someone
tell you,
should
it
make
is
the
going to
movie
be
like
a
that.
great, interesting story to watch. Over the next,
Interesting.
until he
But
gets
again,
killed.
I'm thankful that the funny thing is like think how public all the stories were that he talked about on the trial. So you got this clear insight to what really happened, which was pretty interesting because we followed it the whole way,
It's
right?
very interesting.
Right? So it was like, damn, cool. We got the insight. Like, oh, that run was so wild, right? It's one of the thing that we can't forget is not only was that shit fucking wild style crazy, but he kept putting out like hit after hit
No,
after hit.
lies
They
we
were
tell.
charting though.
He had three.
They were
Yeah,
all
Gumbo- was
like
it Gumbo,
Hot 100, Hot 100, Hot 100, Hot 100,
One with
Hot
Nicki
100.
Minaj, and then I
Yeah.
think it was one other. But no, yeah, he was Hot 100 at the
Yeah.
time. At the time, he was definitely buzzing. He was buzzing,
But-
and he had New York backing him. He had a lot of people backing him. But
King in New York, like, but I'm just saying that I'm not saying that ties into the future. I'm just saying his run was so astronomical. It was so like, because it was too hard to handle, and it was so fucking like a phonetic. I'm drunk
off success.
Too much well.
Can you tell me?
Phonetic, phoretic?
Phonetic, thank you.
No,
No,
Phonetic.
no.
Wait,
Phonetic.
Can
right?
you give me the proper?
For like when pronunciation?
Yes.
Yeah, it's phonetic. Yeah,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Prince. And but that run and how special it was for the chaos. Then they had the
I agree.
insight to it. So I'm only saying when you look out to like the toned down version will be like the Nicki Minaj song. When we talk about the music now, I'm not saying it's going to be a hit. I don't think there'll ever be respect there. But the same way that like Kato Kaelin could go on to become famous and be like in the ether doing like Celebrity Big Brother and like dancing with, you know what I'm saying? Like being in this world of random shit and not necessarily like nobody wanting to put the energy in to actually killing
Yeah,
him.
like,
You know
let's
what I'm
do
saying?
So you said it's the same as like Sean Spicer doing Dancing with the Stars.
Yes. Yeah. He's the gangster fucking Sean Spicer.
He's Spicer.
Like, for real.
No, it's not the same thing. My number one question would be, where's he even live? Where would he live?
He's got
He
to
had
live in like a
move to
steel
Wyoming,
house.
Wyoming with Kanye. Move with Kanye to
Yeah,
Wyoming
yeah.
and
Oh
get a
my
room
God.
and maybe.
What if he repents with the Lord Jesus
Oh.
and becomes part of Kanye's like
Camp?
Wyoming camp? Yeah.
Ooh, I like it. Now we're
Yeah.
getting
He's
somewhere.
Yeah.
a new pastor.
Look, you
Yeah.
didn't say he
He's
was
a
hiring.
pastor.
You
Yeah.
didn't say he was hiring Jesus. This is
Yo,
different.
yo, if his number one security guard is Jesus, we got something. Yo, he's with Bieber and those guys down in whatever that famous church is with all those famous people.
Mosaic.
What is it? Mosaic?
No,
no.
it's church home.
Whatever it is.
It's church home. I
right?
go there, guys. It's church
Do
home.
you?
Yeah, I go on Wednesdays.
Get the fuck
I
out
go,
of
I
here.
go on Wednesdays. Church home with Judah Smith. That's the pastor.
That's you gotta be shitting me.
No, it's a great church.
And-
People think just because they think Justin Bieber's going crazy, they think that the church is like weird.
No.
And
but
if you go to the church,
look, if it's a church for like us famous
So how
people,
you guys doing?
quote
Guys doing?
unquote.
no, it's not.
Is there any people that are in there that are not in there for the like?
I would say that it's probably 6 famous people, and the rest are people.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Praise the Lord.
I think it's just that people think Justin Bieber, and they think he's having like a crisis, and he's
Yeah.
having a meltdown, and they think this church is this. And I started
Yeah.
going there because I was going through marriage counseling before I was engaged and we get married. I was in marriage counseling, and this dude was my actual counselor for this whole thing. And I tried to pay him each week, and he would always be like, "I don't want your money."
Well, how'd you meet him?
I met him through a friend. He was like, "Oh,
Oh, you want to talk to someone? This is the guy
yeah,
right here.
I was looking for a good marriage counselor."
And
I
he's
was
the
like,
pastor at the.
he's the pastor.
He's the guy running the.
He's the guy who runs the whole
oh
thing.
my god.
And he was like, "Not accept my money ever." And I was
And
like,
you couldn't work it out with.
I kept being like, "Yo, like, how do I pay you?" He was like, "Just come to my church one time. Just come one time and enjoy the word."
Good
And
for
you know,
him.
I come from both my parents are pastors,
Yeah.
so I can bullshit. I mean, I can differentiate
Yeah.
what's bullshit and what's not. And I was like, I'm gonna go here. It's gonna be some Hollywood shit. I'm gonna hate it. I ain't never had a white pastor. It's gonna be interesting.
Mm.
And I got there and I was like, this dude's actually really good, and he's really funny.
And that guy went on to become Tekashi 6ix9ine.
And that guy, believe it or not, is Tekashi 6ix9ine. Yeah.
No.
Look. Look.
Do you want a whistleblower?
So no.
follow-up too, or
But
no?
before
Oh, sorry.
before the whistleblower
Yeah,
follow up,
yeah.
if Tekashi 6ix9ine shows up at your church, will you forgive him?
I mean, I ain't got shit to forgive him about.
No.
No, I'm not in that. Like, I'm not in the whole, like, I told people this. I said, I think that the black community needs to get rid of the whole stop snitching shit, too. Because some motherfuckers need to get snitched on. But secondly, I don't have anything to do with that. But I wouldn't rock with him. I wouldn't rock with him. But I also be like, hey, if you here to repent and God forgives you, hey, brother, you my brother, cool, we good.
Okay.
But, nah, you can't come to the crib.
Okay.
bro.
Let me
You can't
run.
come to
Let
the
me
crib.
let me run a scenario for you.
Yep, you got
Right. We're in the middle of a great sermon. Right.
Uh-huh.
We're moved.
it. Fucking stupid.
But Tekashi 6ix9ine is sat right next to you, and they say, look to the person to the right or left of you.
I love it. I love
and,
this. I love
and
this.
if you love Jesus, give them a hug and share Jesus together. Are you gonna hug Tekashi 6ix9ine?
1,000%.
Yeah, good for you, man. You're
gets
such
a
a good
hug?
person, man.
Why would he not get a hug?
I didn't know where you stood on it, but right now it shows me the type of man you are, and that
No,
the
he-
reality of it is, if you got to hug Tekashi in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, you're gonna do it.
I would hug him without the name. I know he need a hug right now. Like if I saw him and he was like, I need a hug, I'd be
Okay.
like, I'll give you a hug,
If
bro.
he needed a room to stay,
Nah, we good. Because now he put me in danger.
yeah.
I gotta think about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like he's safe.
No,
That's what I'm saying. I
They
don't
wouldn't
think-
shoot him; they'd shoot you for having him in the house.
He a snitch on me, 100%.
Yeah, he'd accidentally see, just like your co-host here, he'd accidentally snitch on you.
Yeah. You know I let him in my house. You know.
Chris is definitely a snitch.
This is
Guys, I'm
how-
not a liquidity vintage. I want to make sure everybody gets a proper amount.
Should we do whistleblowing follow up or do new shit?
Let's do it. Come on.
Yeah, let's talk about the impeachment stuff. So this week there were official calls for Donald Trump's impeachment. Nancy Pelosi did not say that before up until this point. Now she's calling for impeachment because of what he did with the Ukraine.
Like its headset.
A little breakdown of that.
Yeah. So the headline reads, Donald Trump made a huge mistake releasing the UK transcript. It's always a challenge to understand why Donald Trump says and does things. He is a hugely impulsive figure who often acts on a whim. There is no long-term strategy that informs his daily tactical decisions, just Trump, well, doing stuff. But even by that standard, the president's decision this week to release a rough transcript of his July 25 conversation with Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky makes zero political sense. One,
This feels more like an opinion, but that little like 3 sentence
Sure,
breakdown
yeah.
was like what I thought was.
okay, one, he repeatedly reminded Zelensky of how much the United States does and can do for Ukraine. Two, asked Zelensky to investigate debunked allegations of corrupt activity by Joe Biden and his son Hunter in Ukraine.
That should get a little
And three,
bit
said
better.
he would put Attorney General William Barr and former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani in touch with Zelensky to follow up about the Biden probe. Those are the three bullet points.
So they broke the law with the Ukraine, and now people are calling for his impeachment. That's really the story, right? Is that like people are actually
Would you impeach him for that?
for this? I mean, he broke the law. He does deserve to be impeached.
Sterling, would you impeach him?
I feel like he should have been impeached. I feel like Donald Trump
Right?
is just
Right?
like,
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
it's
Like,
like-
no. That's what I'm saying. Like, no.
It's
I'm
like,
I'm
are we fucking like, what are we even like? It's look.
We're the end of the shit now. It's like for me, I'm like, yo, he's done so much stuff over the time that I'm like, why this?
Right, like-
Why is this the one that everyone's like, all right? I'm like, he's done so much shit,
Well, because it's illegal and we have him on tape.
bruh. They had this man had a fucking a sexual assault and a rape case going with a 15-year-old before he was ever in office.
Yeah.
Like what are we talking about? Like
But-
it's illegal. It's a lot of
But
illegal
there's no
shit.
proof
But-
of that.
Let me give you some personal perspective. We're so lucky to be alive, right? In this era. Think of how fucking crazy this shit show of a circus is. Think like I don't really. I can get angry on sort of the facts behind the insanity, right? And judge like try to get into the layer of like, is this reasonable or not? But I'm more like, God damn it, this motherfucker. He constantly is pushing the fucking lines and making for he refuses the story to slow down and not be exciting and be fucking crazy, right? And it's been that way from the moment he came down the fucking escalator, right? And it's like, and I'll never forget the feeling of like when Florida when it shifted to where like, holy fuck, like if Florida goes, this motherfucker's president. Like I remember like the feeling of like how fucking crazy it felt. And then the moment the shit show started, it's been nonstop, and there's too many that we could never possibly remember, from crowd sizes to fucking like the entire way through the fucking witch hunt. Fake news was like a real thing.
Real thing.
You know what I mean? It was a real thing. Now it's like you say one bad thing about me, fake news. Like the
That was his
lamestream-
approach every time. Was just he had such an elementary approach to being like
sounds
liar.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
Word.
okay.
And America
Yeah.
was like, oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
the greatest of all time, the best
Yeah.
ever, the most beautiful.
All
Okay.
these fancy nicknames. Like
The nickname
look,
game is
Jed Bush could have been the president. He's fucking low energy Jed. Couldn't he couldn't even come in as a casual president.
He talks about how Bernie is dying. And
Dying.
Bernie is only 3 years older than him.
Yeah.
Bernie's like,
Look, Sleepy Joe. That's like, it's like he's tired. He looks tired. It's look.
I said this I think 2 weeks ago. I was like, look, obviously I'm not a Trump fan, but also he's doing such gangster and shit that he just should not be able to get away with it. I'm like, I'm not a fan of this at all. I'm also just amazed. I'm amazed that we allowed this.
well, he's
for so
breaking
long.
the law.
But it's
Okay, you
it's-
ain't never heard of like motherfucking real old
But
school
like, doesn't the law matter?
Al
So-
Capone,
so-
Al Capone, and you never watched their motherfucking movies and stories and been like,
Al
"Dip."
Capone wasn't in charge of the law. He was against the law. This guy is the law.
But let's talk about what the law is, right? The
Yeah.
law would be going to a foreign government asking for help for the election. That's the law that's being broke.
yeah.
So the subjectivity here now is intent. Was he just, hey, like he's saying, hey, I just want to make sure you guys don't have any corruption going on over there. You should look into this. We'll help you,
Yeah.
right? Like it's the proving intent in the court of law, but ultimately to impeach a president, I feel like is, even though we know like he's slimy to that, he would fight all the way through of like, that was never my intent, right?
Yeah, of
like,
course he will.
So it's like even that range of it of like, and all it does is we're already so split down the middle on it, right? Of like so divided, and I think there's no way he gets reelected. And
I think the opposite.
I think
Yeah,
there's just
that,
no
that's,
way.
That,
I
that's,
think the opposite.
So are you saying that you want to? I want to see the people vote him out the most.
100%.
That's what I.
like this weird swing vote that was like just didn't want to go through Hillary Clinton. It was like just Hillary Clinton was like that was just enough to eke him out.
Yeah.
So that same group is like, fuck this wild style maniac. We just want to relax, right? Like we're We're going to be sad when it's over. We're going to be like, damn, ain't that some shit? We're going to watch 200 or 300 movies and documentaries
gonna watch
over the next
so many.
50 years, and we're going to be like, oh, that fucking the inside story to that one.
I was there. It was like
Yo,
9/11.
He'll sell the inside stories.
Yo, he will be in all the document. Well, I
Yeah.
fucking, yeah, we had a hell of a time. No, I did fuck in the White House. Like, it'll be like,
100%.
yeah, it'll be like so crazy, and we'll be sad. But I really believe this, that the small group that swung it is just, it's too much, right? Like, it's chaotic, it's entertaining and fun. And here's the fucked up part. Our economy is still kicking and humming. As long as he's been in there, we've been stronger than ever. So no one's lives have actually been personally affected, right? So it's like, as long as like business maintains strong, like he put so much pressure on the Federal Reserve, which no president is allowed to. You're not even allowed to make it political. You're not even allowed to make it an issue. He fucking put the guy there and still said he's a piece of shit at his job. And there's no reason for us to reduce rates. But guess what? Think how happy I am. Fuck yeah, let's refinance and bring all the money that I have financed down even lower because, right, you know what I mean? I'm
I
doing
really
so
do.
good right now.
I
I got
refinance.
this. My house is cheaper than ever. Trump, I mean, fuck him. But shit's good right now. It's that line is if the economy dipped, he would be gone. So it's like we're all feeling great.
So don't you think he could easily get reelected? I think
Not
that
enough to get reelected, but a Democrat's going to get elected,
I don't
and
feel that,
then
I hope.
then the economy's going to take a shit because we're all going to like turn back to reality because everybody's too busy paying attention to the shit show to create any chaos inside what could actually be damaging to our country or our economy. I mean,
Well, for me, I feel like the other small group in the swingers, as we'll call them on this show right now, are people that are just they thrive off his hate. Obviously, yeah. You're gonna think about the other stuff and say, oh, well,
but they're so small, you know what I mean? Like,
I think we would like to believe that.
but even institutionally, right? Like, where I think I think you're right. Where there's a small portion that thrive off the hate. There's a larger institutional group that I think just agrees with his mentality, right? Like where the same way I'm the least racist person I know,
And they're
right?
like, me too.
Me too, right?
too.
But like
he's
it's
just
Get
like
in here,
you.
nigga, Bob.
That's
Tell
what
him.
I-
like it's that
Like, what?
Yeah, it's like that range. I think I think it's big. I think it's if the super hate group is like 10%, I think that range goes up to 30, 40. But that's not enough to make him president again. I think the swing group that was just sick of, like, didn't want Hillary and like another like 4 years of the exact Democratic agenda, like needed some change and needed some conservative, especially fiscal conservative mindset that was more country focused, like is what shifted them, and they're ready to all shift back. That's
But who takes them down? Also, is the competition to me isn't there.
yeah.
And that's the problem. Is that like if there was somebody that was just came in that everyone was like, that guy's the next guy.
But I think as long
There's
as
nobody.
It's not. It's if it's Sleepy Joe or Pocahontas, whoever it is, right? Like it's. I think like, and this is, and look, it's a great debate because so many people I think are very much on your side where it's like, damn, we're gonna have to run through another run of this. We can't.
That's
take
the
it.
reason he won the first time.
No, we won the first time because it was like this sort of like we drain the swamp and forget all these and like it or not, he's still like the weirdest shit is this motherfucker is like the most like appealing multi-billionaire to like the hard-working like blue-collar guy. Like he's the relatable billionaire because he's like, me and you, we're just the same. Like if for some reason his charisma worked like that. And let me give you a Trump story now, okay? I am a fan of beauty pageants because my wife loves beauty pageants. So I watch them all, right?
I like where this is going.
So my wife says, like, the only thing I want to do this year is go to the Miss Universe pageant. And so I call up my agent, and say, hey, can you get me some really good tickets for Miss Universe, right?
What's that?
Who is it?
I think that's you, Chris.
I need more wine for this Trump story.
I got you.
They say, hey, we can get you front row tickets, right? So it's like, it's in Miami, right? So it's like, we're going to go out for a trip, enjoy ourselves, get suited and booted, do it up real good, right? So then they call me like, hey, they're asking if you want to be a judge. And I'm like,
I remember
I'm
that.
like, I'm like, fuck no, I'm not gonna be a fucking judge. Like, what the fuck? And then like I thought about it, I said, hey, shit, called her. I said, man, they're asking me to be a judge. And it's like, shit, like I watch more.
Yo.
I watch more pageants than any of those judges. Like, I literally like have to. And every time we watch a pageant, just when they do their first walkout, I call top 5, top 3, and who.
Yeah.
And I was
How good are you?
I'm talking.
Is
on,
there
a,
a
on a
game-
hit rate. I'm talking close to 4%.
Really?
0. Meaning 0. Meaning never done.
Oh, you do horrible.
Yeah, I do horrible.
Oh.
But it doesn't matter.
Okay, wait,
I'm
question.
building the skill set.
Is there a world where people
Yeah.
bet on this?
Yo.
I don't know.
I want to
know.
get
It
that
exists.
game.
I don't know.
I want to get that game.
But I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
get up there pretty accurate. So, but
Okay.
it got to the point where I was really into it, and even, you know, when I told my wife I loved her for the very
Yeah.
first time, she was in a pageant when we were boyfriend and girlfriend, Miss World, and she won that pageant, and then we went to Turks and Caicos, and then I wrote "I love you" on the beach, and then brought her to it so she could see. I wrote it in the sand the first time I told her I loved her. Anyway, side story. So look,
It's beautiful.
so they asked me to vote, or they asked me to judge the pageant. I decided to do it. So an amazing experience. Get down there.
Yo, for real though. This audio is annoying the hell out of me.
Tom Jackson, Giancarlo.
So every time I want to speak, I mute the video. When I want to listen to the video, I mute myself. I was gonna go from now on.
First thing they say is like, "You're gonna run for president, right?" Because this is obviously when he's still
What
on the
year is
pageant.
this?
So this would have been, what year did he start running? What year was that? 16.
Yeah, he was
So it
elected
would have
in
been
16.
it would have been in 16, right? Or no, it would have been in 15. 15.
But,
so
but he announced he's running for president.
no, he
already?
hadn't yet.
Okay.
So it was like they're like, he's like, "You better believe it. You know, I'm thinking about it. I might just be doing that, right?" So
I love that he talks
So-
like a wrestler.
full wrestler.
Oh, you better believe it.
right. So
But he used to be a wrestler, everybody, just to remind you again.
let's not forget.
Yeah, Donald Trump is a wrestler.
So at this time, Russia was invading Ukraine for Crimea and doing all the shit in Ukraine, right? And so he pulls me aside and he said, "Oh man, a lot of good looking women out there. But what about Ukraine? What do you think about Ukraine?" Right?
No.
And I'm like,
No way he
And-
says
and-
Ukraine at all.
I swear to fucking
What?
God. So he's like, "What do you think of
What?
Ukraine? Set of legs on her, huh?" Right? There
He's
are-
giving you cold talk. You
Yo.
have no idea he's
Yo,
talking about the election.
Yo, so I shit you not. So it's fucking. He's like, "What a story too, huh? If Ukraine was Miss Universe, think how crazy that would be, right?" And I shit you fucking not. There were 100 women in the competition. Ukraine was fucking 100 and busted. I'm talking the ugliest, like tree trunk, fat, like ugly as shit. Have no idea how she got there. I'm like, this motherfucker trying to like rig the entire thing, right? So he's like, "Oh, Ukraine, huh?" So
He's working with
so,
Ukraine.
so
Ukraine?
yeah. So
Wait,
this
this
guy
really
This is
happened?
real shit.
This
Real
is
shit.
insane.
So then like I see him pull Deshaun aside, right? And I can see him say like, you know, like, "Oh,
Ukraine."
Ukraine, huh?" So I'm like, Deshaun, what he say to you? He's like, "Man, he was on me like we got to vote for Ukraine. Like, what a great story. I'm like, this motherfucker's trying to like get us all to vote for Ukraine. So talk
He
to.
rigged this too.
Shit you not. I shit you not.
This is insane.
He fucking talked to every single one of us all the way down the line. Said, Ukraine, huh? Quite a looker,
I think
huh?
you told me this
Yeah.
story.
And so, like, we all went through the process, like, the entire thing, and Ukraine made it all the way to top 5, right? And because we all were like, you know, fuck it, this one's for the Trumpster. Like, you want us, like, we obviously can't have her win because she's so busted, but just because, like, we all kind of, like, he got in our heads. So now, let me put some context to this, right? It's not like he, like, rigged the event.
Yeah.
He didn't come to each person and say like, "Hey, guys, this is going to be really
Oh yeah, I forgot we have food too. This is amazing.
Yeah. Going to the theater with Daddy, Mom. Daddy ain't bothering us.
Is that him in the movie theater
Yeah,
room?
my dad's
That's
just
awesome.
chilling
Yeah,
out.
he's in there. Just like-
Yeah, cause he told us yesterday I want him to be on the podcast, and he was like, you know, he does a lot of inner city like stuff for the youth for like baseball, just kids in the inner city, and he was like, I can't just because as much as I'm not against you, you're an adult doing whatever you want to do. I tell these kids to stay away from drugs and alcohol all day, and then if I'm sitting
Meanwhile,
on a
here's the-
podcast called Wine and he said one of his kids approached him recently and said Stilo smokes weed. And it was a conversation he had to have. And I was like, that sucks that I can't even smoke weed in peace. I got to think about the youth.
Well, you know what? It's like when I got on there's this interesting juxtaposition that we have to make as a generation that is like, I was on the elevator with this family and me and my friend kept saying shit.
Yeah.
And
shit.
the dad, because shit, like I can't help when you walked into the elevator during our conversation and we say it again, we're like, this shit, and the dad goes, hey,
Enough with that shit.
kids. And meanwhile, my 9-year-old just left, and I'm like a weed smoking shit fuck type of guy, and you saw his kid behind him,
Yeah.
who is in his early, probably like 12, 13, like kind of, he's looking at us and thinks we're cool and looking at his dad and being like, you fucking lame.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
dork.
Yeah.
And like, I'm looking at a kid who's going to rebel and do everything that his dad told him not to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, sometimes you just got to admit that kids, one, know exactly what the fuck shit means. Right? They're going to also, they use shit all
Kids
the time.
go to school. They
They
talk
go to-
to
yeah.
each other. They tell each other everything.
Yeah, dude.
Kids start cursing young.
I had I'm not making this shit up. I had a motherfucker in my first grade classroom show me a gun in his backpack.
See?
And he was like, yo, yeah, I'm going to shoot the teacher. And
That's
I was
oh
like,
my God.
Oh my
I
god.
swear to God,
That
this is a true
is
story.
so
now,
dark.
Now, he did not shoot the teacher. I will say that much.
Oh my god.
But he was like, yo, I'm going to shoot the teacher. I was like, I don't think you shoot Miss Burke. She chill, bro.
So
Relax.
maybe we meet in the middle between that extreme and my extreme.
All right, fuck it. Welcome to Wine and Weed. It's a very special episode. It's our 420 episode, so we're going to call it Weed and Weed today.
Weed and weed,
Hey,
weed and water.
We just going to keep smoking more weed, and we going to have a good time and talk shit.
And we're gonna eat weed as well. We got Chef Will
I'm
here.
not eating no weed.
We're gonna eat food that is weed infused.
You know what? I like that. Sounds better. Sounds better.
Uh,
We have a very special guest. A very, very, very special guest in the building. We have what do you want to go by on this podcast? What are we going to? Are we going by?
I think we'll stick with Machine Gun Kelly.
Machine Gun Kelly. We have Machine Gun Kelly in the motherfucking building. So
Thank you.
let's give it up for that.
yeah.
We're excited about this. Y'all don't understand. This guy is a good friend. He's a good guy, great guy. And it took me so long to get this guy to commit to being on this show because he's so busy. Not because he hates me. Partially because he hates me. But the other part was more that he's just so busy. I had to catch him on damn near red eye. And I was like, bruh, tomorrow can I get you to come tomorrow? He was like, yo, I told you. He's a man of his word. And that's one thing I always respect. As people in this industry, like we do get busy schedules. We all have stuff to do. And it's so important to still be a man of your word. And this dude is here.
Yes.
So I appreciate you.
Yes,
First and
dude.
foremost,
Hell
I
yeah.
appreciate
Thanks
you
for
being here,
coming
bro.
out.
We are
And
we're
you-
also neighbors.
We are
by the way.
also look. He lives 1 block away, and it's always harder to get someone to pull up on you when it's 1 block away. Cause you like,
It seems too
I
easy.
can do that.
It seems
whenever.
too easy.
Yeah.
You're like, no way. It's only a block.
Most weeks we're talking about the news, we're talking about pop culture, we're talking about our weeks, but you know, it's not a Weed and Wine Wednesday, it's a Saturday, it's 420. We are flavoring this week all about marijuana. So we're going to talk marijuana stories, we're going to talk marijuana news, we're going to eat marijuana foods. We're going to do it all.
We gonna do it all for the weed. All for the weed. We can talk some funny stories. I mean, as someone that has been smoking weed for only maybe a year and a half, you guys have an upper hand on me in this category. So you have probably so many more stories.
My bad.
So no, you're good. You're good.
No,
all you
coughing
want on
is
this
part of the
episode.
podcast, yeah.
But look, we can't even say we got weed and or cannabis infused food without giving a shout out to Chef Will. You want to get in here real quick?
Yeah.
Chef Will, give it up for Chef Will.
Chef Will.
He's gonna make us. He made some great food, some appetizers. We're gonna try. I've been vegan for the past week, but I told Chef Will I was breaking that shit for this episode. So
Oh, you're putting nugs in the chicken?
No, I use coconut oil, cannabis oil.
But in what? What are we eating today?
So we eating buffalo wings.
Ooh, so you want to put him on
yeah, you
the
can
mic?
grab my mic right here.
So today we having buffalo wings with blue cheese and scallions. We also having avocado toast with balsam and vinaigrette, and we doing mac and cheese with truffle and cheese.
Damn. Well, I'm smoking blue cheese right now, so that's awesome.
Is it?
Oh,
Yeah.
you got your pairing right there.
Yep.
You got your pairing.
That's a perfect transition. We go from one blue cheese to the next. I'm coughing like a little biatch.
Hey, yo, I got a friend, my guitar player. He coughs every time he smokes weed,
Really?
and he smokes weed every time it's lit. So it's like
Yeah.
one of those things where you're like, Jesus Christ, like.
Is it? Because I can still learn from you guys. Is it real? The more you cough, the higher you get.
I think so, man. I mean, I think that expression that you ain't smoking if you ain't choking is. I think they got or if you ain't choking, you ain't smoking. One of those. I think it got some merit to it.
I feel like that's
I feel higher already.
Feels like a little bit of an urban legend that if you cough, you get higher.
How you figure?
I always feel like that's a way to make new smokers like
Feel good.
relaxed. It's like,
That's a good
don't
point.
worry, if you smoke, you get higher.
Okay, that's a different perspective. I thought I was just getting higher.
But
so-
we have 3 different origin stories, right? You started smoking in your 20s.
yeah.
I started smoking in my teens.
I started smoking in my 11s.
You're
Really?
11.
When was the first time you smoked weed?
I used to live with a kid named.
Okay, shout out his whole fucking name.
Man, I don't know why I just
It's
did that.
it's shot.
Oh, that's a dope name, though.
In my head,
Oh, my
Sean
bad.
Henry was killing it somewhere
Oh,
right
my
now.
God.
And you just let everybody know he was out here blazing since he was 10 and shit.
So his older sister used to date a rave DJ. And like this is like classic like 90s rave. This is like hardcore
Warehouse.
Warehouse,
somewhere, Big
yeah.
old parachute pants.
ecstasy
you
pills.
go?
Ecstasy pills.
Yeah, I did. First time I did ecstasy in when I was 11 or 12 too. We went to one of those
what?
raves.
Why are we?
And
so
we-
your movie's next. Continue.
And we had we all did the pacifiers because your fucking jaw is just the whole time. So we're in there with pacifiers like 11 or 12. I can't believe I said his whole name. I feel terrible.
No, we
We'll
can
bleep it,
we
we'll
can
bleep
bleep
it.
it.
We'll
We
bleep that
can- we
shit,
can-
yeah.
It's kind of funny. But
It's a great name
We'll
though.
still bleep it for
me
you.
and him are still homies, man. He wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's I feel like as a person in their 20s at a rave, you see an 11-year-old with a pacifier
could you
in their
imagine?
mouth.
Could
Wouldn't
you
you feel a little
imagine?
bit like
I used
maybe
to have a
shouldn't be
chili bowl
here?
cut, or maybe this was when my hair was down here. I mean, either way, we looked like the Sandlot kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's amazing. And people did not stop you at all. They were just like, yeah, that's a part of this.
We knew the DJ.
That's all you need to know as a DJ. I know the guy that owns the place. I know the guy that owns the place.
Oh, but weed came before an ecstasy pill. What's the first weed story?
Did it?
My-
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
First time that we smoked weed, we were. He did the 3 holes in an apple.
Oh yeah.
You know, for those who don't know, all you got to do if you're at a hotel, you don't got no papers or something like that. You just take one of the apples that they have in the lobby, which is also very weird that they always have apples in the lobby.
Yeah, they're asking you to do
Yeah.
They're pipes. They're there
They're
to smoke.
pipes.
They
If you
have
didn't know. 'cause
complimentary pipe snacks. It's a pipe. It's a snack.
You take it and you stab 2 holes in the side, make sure that the holes intersect, and then take the stem out the top and then just stab the top until it reaches the hole that you made between these 2 holes. And then you just put your finger on one of the holes on the side, put the weed in the top, light it, and then
But like,
You got
who
it.
was that guy?
You
Who
got
was
an
the
apple
first-
pipe.
Was it
First
who
apple
was the
smoker?
first guy that was like? It had to be fucking Newton.
Oh,
Can you look that up?
yeah. What is the
I would love to
origin
know,
of
yeah.
an apple pipe?
yeah, like
I feel like when I got high in high school, we would try to smoke out of anything we could.
Oh yeah,
we
me too.
at one point had a beef jerky jar that was like, you know, imagine beef jerky. So we had a bowl that we made out of some piece from Home Depot. In the top of that, and 2 little hoses out. We like went to Home Depot and decided to try to build essentially a hookah for the car. And we used to just drive around and just hit that.
Dude, your
and
friends
walk
were really
around.
smart.
yeah,
We
no.
were.
Y'all had tubes?
Yeah.
We were
Those
like,
really
it
smart
was like,
friends.
let's get creative. Let's make a fucking pipe for the car. And it was also really easy to hide, where like someone was lighting it down here, and you smoke it up here.
See,
You
I
know?
remember when I was a kid, I did stupid stuff. So I didn't want to smoke at all. I was the square guy. I was an athlete, so I thought in my head, oh, I can never.
I had that too.
I could never.
I wanted to be in the Air Force.
See,
They told me they test your hair and everything that's
so
in your
you were-
hair is
so
like,
you were like,
no-
I'm good.
yeah,
I'm off
yeah.
of that. Yeah. So I was like, I could never. I'm an athlete, and like I play basketball, I play baseball. I could never do anything. That's just not me. So I remember like all the people, all my homies was like smoking and stuff, and I didn't smoke. It's the dumbest story ever. As I'm telling it in my head right now, it is so stupid, but I'm gonna continue. So I didn't smoke at all, and I was like, "Yo, my boys, you know, they want to smoke, blah blah blah. Cool, I don't smoke, so how do I still fit in?" The new sour Skittles had just dropped.
Okay. Hey, that huge, huge day, huge day.
Huge day, huge day.
Yeah.
The new sour Skittles had just dropped.
That changed
So
a lot.
I took.
I didn't see this going in this
no,
direction.
you did at all. I'm a good storyteller. So I took some regular ass notebook paper or whatever, just some paper, and I took the sour Skittles and I put it in the middle. And I was like, I'm about to taste the rainbow.
Shut
fam.
the
I
fuck.
swear to God. And I rolled up
Yes.
I rolled up the paper with
Yes.
the Skittles, and I lit the Skittles up, and I hit the paper, and I told them, nigga, I think I'm high. And I was
What?
I wasn't anything close to it as I
Oh,
look
man.
back. But in my head, I was like, yo, I'm going to still fit in. Y'all my boys, so I got to still connect with y'all. Oh, man, we about to try something.
Dude, we would have been best friends after that.
I think that could have fucked you up.
If
though.
there was
I
any
think-
way to not succumb to peer pressure
Anyway,
and make it
you
your
gotta
own.
smoke sour Skittles. That's what
Whoa.
we telling you kids. If you don't want to really smoke, sour Skittles is always the next best thing.
This motherfucker said, "I want to taste the."
I swear to God, that's a real story. It's the
That's
dumbest story.
amazing. I've never heard that story. That's incredible.
Who's the first celebrity you smoked weed with?
Ooh,
Oh, that's I have
the first celebrity.
I have an asterisk on mine, but I would say the
There's
first.
weed in here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's weed in this. So
Yes.
we have avocado toast for
Toast.
those of you just listening.
I had a whole day
were
planned
just-
after this. You know
I
that,
know
right?
that. I felt bad. You still can have that day, but you have to.
It's gonna be.
You
a
can
different-
pull it
I'll
off.
go with you. I really will. Like,
Okay.
yeah. So you're fine.
Don't eat my avocado toast.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Okay,
but this tastes
avocado toast.
awesome.
Yes. Oh my God. Hey,
Those are
You gotta tell
scallions on
people
top.
Instagram before we get off of here, Chef Will. Woo. That shit nice right here, player.
Is that scallions on top? Radish sprouts on top.
I didn't even know radishes had
Avocado
sprouts.
toast.
We're
Avo-
looking at like milligrams. Like how high am I about to get?
Yeah,
dude?
yeah. How high would you say this toast would?
Okay, so the avocado toast that I prepared today maybe have about 150 milligrams in it.
What?
What is? How much is? How much is that in?
I don't like the whole batch, so
I'm bad with math. Like how much is that in
mean,
grams?
It's not like we gonna
How,
die.
how much
No,
is
you're not gonna
150?
die.
How much is
That sounded-
it's only
150?
150. You know, it's not heavy.
So that's like 1.5 grams.
exactly.
Okay.
Oh, we just
Oh,
smoked a whole
half,
blunt.
yeah.
We're eating
just
a
ate all
blunt,
blunt?
between all of us.
Holy shit!
Wait, you
Yes.
sure?
I'm positive.
Between all of us?
1.5 grams of each of these toasts.
Yes.
That's a lot, right?
I'm about to be half.
Maybe it's 420 in our minds because this will come out on 420, so it's a 420.
Yo,
Just think about it like that, and then it'll be worth
Hey,
it.
a whole blunt is.
but Gee, I'm not understanding what we're talking about right now.
funny.
I am
Imagine-
still confused. I have little edible cookies in there, right? And
Yeah.
they say 10 milligrams or 5 milligrams.
Yeah, you
per
just said
cookie.
150.
You just said 150.
Okay.
You just fucked my head up, bro.
When I
So
roll
that's
a
only
blunt,
with- Go
I
ahead.
put when I roll a blunt, I put 1.5 grams in my blunt.
Yes.
Okay.
That's about the average of a of. That's
Do
in
we
my
have
blunt.
1.5?
You do, yes.
This is
but
a
the good
blunt,
thing
bro.
but the good thing with the
That
mac
shit is hard, dude.
but the
It's
good
delicious,
thing is
too.
This shit.
the good thing with the mac and cheese that I prepare, it have CBD oil in it, so
Oh.
it'll give you like a relax on it at the end of the
Dude,
day.
Hell
Steve-O,
yeah,
I'm
Will.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Man, hey, man.
Wow, that's Skittles.
hey,
This is delicious, by the way,
it's
Chef Will.
delicious,
Yeah,
bro.
this shit's awesome.
I'm looking forward to everything else now.
Most definitely.
Yeah, make sure
appreciate you, bro.
at each time you can sit down there and tell us,
Okay,
you
sounds
know,
good.
what it's
We
about.
just start talking stupid shit again.
So who was?
Well,
the,
I was thinking
who
about-
who was the first?
Oh, celebrity.